Recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, just want to address some of the comments made in the earlier discussion regarding the Panama Agreement. I come from the Seattle area also, recognizing that 1 out of every 3 jobs in Washington State is directly related to trade. We are not anti-job, not anti-American worker. In fact, we have great concern and passion in moving these agreements forward because we're so concerned about American workers and American jobs. I know the administration is relying on the ITC and their estimate of, in this trade deal, of jobs, and that they could create 70,000 American jobs. But isn't it true that this estimate doesn't fully account for the broad job gains in the services sector, and that the number created could actually be much larger than 70,000?
Yes, that's correct, Mr. Reichert. It does not take services into account.
Would you have an estimated job number if you take in the services area?
I don't have an estimate that I can rely on based on ITC data. However, the 3 agreements taken together, of which South Korea is the lion's share, would create approximately $13 billion in additional trade, which would be about 250,000 new jobs. Comments
from the other 2 witnesses on job creation?
So you're correct that the ITC modeling is not able to take account of service sector jobs. What we do know is that what we are opening through the U.S. South Korea trade agreement is a $500 billion services market to U.S. service providers from all over the country. And therefore, it is not too great, I think, to say it is a massive opportunity for American service providers to be participating in that new market.
And as Mr. Teaberry stated, he's a member of the President's Export Council, as am I, one of 2 Republicans in the House. Listening to the discussion there, the goal is to double exports in 5 years. The last time that was done was 1995 through 2007, and 9 trade agreements were passed. We haven't passed 1 since. What's the job estimation the President has as it relates to the doubling of exports? Does he come up with a number? I've heard a number of 2 million jobs is expected to be created by these agreements.
I don't have an aggregate figure of jobs. I do know that this trade agreement is larger than any trade agreement in the last 17 years by far. So it's an enormous opportunity both in the services area, which we've discussed, as well as in manufacturing and agricultural products where the benefits are substantial.
Now, on the other side of the coin, as was mentioned earlier, we're really concerned about being left out as Canada and the European Union move forward on their agreements with Korea and other countries. So we're looking at a possible loss, at least by some estimates, of nearly 400,000 jobs if we don't move forward on these agreements soon because of loss of market share. So it's imperative that we move forward quickly on these agreements. Under the terms of this bill, how quickly can the Korean agreement go into force?
Mr. Reichert, under the implementing bill, the provisions relating to entry into force in Section 101B provide for the President to allow the agreement to enter into force once he's made a determination that South Korea is in compliance with all of its underlying obligations. So once the President makes that determination, the agreement can enter into force, and the implementing bill anticipates a January 1st implementation date.
And the other issue, of course, that's been discussed lightly here throughout the morning is the issue of intellectual property rights. And can you discuss how implementation of this trade agreement could help the efforts to raise intellectual property rights standards, not just in South Korea, but also in China and other key markets throughout Asia?
So the Chorus has a state-of-the-art chapter on intellectual property rights, covering the full range of areas from patents, trademarks, and copyrights. It includes strong protections of IPR, and particularly in the digital environment, which will strongly benefit U.S. creators and innovators, and includes other enhanced intellectual property protections. It will curb digital copyright theft of music and videos and other forms of audiovisual entertainment. It protects against the arbitrary revocation of patents, assurance of the protection of a wide array of inventions. Equally important, sir, it also contains important transparency and process protections for investors operating in the Korean market, for inventors operating in the Korean market, and for inventions there.
Mr. Chairman, recognizing my time has expired, I just wanted to add that that would influence China and other countries as well as they see this language implemented, correct?
We think that increasing these intellectual property standards in our FTAs sets a very important and good example around the world.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Pascrell is recognized for